In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to crochet for absolute beginners. All you need is some yarn and a crochet hook. More specifically, you want to have a crochet hook and a yarn skein that works together. As you can see, the yarn skein that I'm currently holding has no label on it anymore, and that is because I threw the label away. But as you can see on this skein right here, if we turn the skein around, you will find somewhere on the packaging there will be a label what crochet hook fits with the yarn weight, and here you can see it says 2mm to 3mm. So if I were to crochet with this, I would use a 2 or 3mm crochet hook. Unfortunately, I don't actually have a 2 or 3mm crochet hook. I only have a 3.5, but that's fine. You can always use a bigger crochet hook than the weight you have, but not a smaller one, because obviously it wouldn't work. Could basically not crochet with this. The yarn that I am currently using requires a 4 or 5mm crochet hook. My crochet hook is quite busted up, but that's okay because it still works. So to start off, we want to grab the tail end of our crochet hook. So to start any crochet project, you are going to use a slip knot. To make a slip knot, you want to wrap your yarn around your finger like this, and then pull it off. Then you want to take any tail, so either the tail attached to the skein or the loose end, and you want to lay it under the circle that you just created. Next, you want to grab your crochet hook, slip it under and grab that tail that you just made like this. Now you want to grab both tails and pull. That is how you make a slip knot. Now you can pull on both ends to tighten up the slip knot that you just made. So tighten it until it fits around your hook. Next, we are going to be making a chain. In case you still struggle with how to hold your crochet hook, the way that I hold it is I place it on my 4 fingers like this, and then I use my thumb to guide it in motion like this. And the way that I hold my yarn is I place it on my 4 fingers like this, then I separate my pointer finger and I kind of place it like this, and then I use my pinky to hold down the yarn, and then with my thumb and middle finger, I hold the project that I'm working like this. So pinky is holding down the yarn, pointer finger is the yarn is wrapped around my pointer finger, middle finger and thumb are holding the project that I'm currently working on, which as of right now is just a slip knot. Now there are many other ways to hold your crochet hook and also hold your yarn, but this is how I do it, so just find what's most comfortable for you. Next, to make a slip knot, you want to yarn over, so wrap the yarn around your hook, around the neck of your hook, and then pull through. We want to do that one more time. Wrap it around your hook and pull through. Wrap it around your hook and pull through. We are going to do that until we have a chain of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Once you have chained to 10, what we're going to do is we are going to establish what the chain actually contains, or what a chain actually has. So as you can see, if we move it to the side, a chain exists of a V stitch. So this is 1 chain, this is 2 chain, and this is 3 chains. 1 chain has a top loop and a bottom loop. And if you turn your chain around, it has bumps in the back as well. Now typically, in every other crochet tutorial that I've seen so far, you typically work into the top V line. But I actually prefer working into the back bump, and I do think that it ends up being a good habit to work into the back bump because it just makes your project look way cleaner. So that is what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do today. So slipping my hook back into the last chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are going to be chaining 1 extra. We are going to turn our chain around, and then we're going to work into the back bump of every single chain. In case you still don't really understand what a back bump is, it's just this bump right here. So if I were to slip my hook in it, I would go above the top V and then use my finger to pull it onto my hook and then I would do my stitch. To start the row, we're going to turn around, insert our hook into that second back bump from our hook, so not into this one, but into this one. Insert our hook into it, use our finger to pull it through, grab the yarn and pull through one. So now you have 2 loops on your hook. 1, 2. Now we are going to grab the yarn again and pull through both loops. 1 and 2. And now what you just did was a single crochet. So to repeat what we just did, insert our hook into that back bump, use our finger to pull it through, grab the yarn with your hook, pull through, and then you want to yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. 1 and 2. Now we want to repeat that for the entire row. Insert your hook, use your finger to guide it through, yarn over, grab it with your hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, insert your hook, use your finger to guide it, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, pull up, pull through 2. Insert, pull up, pull through 2. In case you're struggling with tension, the way that I keep my tension nice and clean instead of too loose or too tight, you want to make sure that you can run your hook through the loop that you created comfortably, but also not too comfortably where you can feel it and see through it. So like this is a good amount of tension. Insert your hook, pull, and pull through 2. Insert your hook, pull up, pull through 2. Insert your hook, pull up, pull through 2. And now we have reached the last chain of our row. What we're going to do again, we are going to insert our hook into that back bump, pull up, and pull through 2. Now you can see that this is quite a big gap that kind of looks unpleasant, so you can actually just grab the tail end and use your thumb and point your finger on your right hand to kind of pull it tight. Now it should be somewhat smaller and less noticeable. Now we are going to start our next row. So to start row 2, we are going to turn our project around. So grab it like this and turn it left side. You are not supposed to turn it like this. Don't turn it like this because this just doesn't work out, because then you have your yarn here. You want to turn it from right to left. This is how we were working on it, right to left, so that the yarn is on the back side. So once you have flipped your work around, we are going to pull up a loop that is slightly more than we would typically, so where you can see space there, you know? Then we will insert our hook into that stitch that we just made. To clear up, a stitch is just this. So this would be 1 stitch, this would be the 2nd stitch, 3rd stitch, and 4th stitch. So basically just the hole under the V right here. So we are going to pull up more than usual, but only slightly, like maybe less than 5 millimeters, which is, I don't know, like what's lower than an inch? I don't know. How do Americans measure that? 0.1 inches. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 2. And that is how you start your 2nd row. And now to continue on, we are literally just going to do the same thing as we just did. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2. So that is what I'm going to do the rest of this row until we reach this stitch right here. But don't worry, I'll show it in detail. Once we've reached the second to last stitch, what we're going to do is we are going to insert our hook into the last one, which is a bit more hidden, but you don't want to forget it, because if you were to forget it, then you would have like a wonky piece. So you definitely do want to obviously insert your hook into that one and then make a single crochet. And now to work on row 3, we are going to turn our work from right to left and do the same thing that we just did. Pull up a little bit more than you typically would, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, and then repeat. So now I'm going to do this for a few more rows, and you should also do it for a few more rows to get more comfortable with the single crochet stitch. And if it really doesn't look right, then you can always undo it. And to undo, you literally just want to pull. So all you got to do is just retry, redo. It will be super easy for you one day. You just have to do it to get to there. Once again, I am at my last stitch. Here you can see it's the last one. I'm going to insert my hook and make a single crochet. Now, one tip that I have is you can probably tell after every single row I tend to pull my project, and that is because if I wouldn't, then my stitches at the top would probably not be the same width as my bottom ones. If your project is kind of starting to look like a triangle, you just want to give it a light tug, not too much, just a light tug, and see if it evens it out. One thing that could help is counting your stitches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if we turn to the bottom, we can also count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the stitch count is correct. You can count your stitches and maybe you'll notice that you missed one right here or there. Another tip that I have is using a stitch marker. You don't even need to have a stitch marker. You can just use any thin object that you have, or maybe even some different colored scrap yarn. Use it to mark your first stitch. This is the first stitch of this row, and then I will stick my hook through it and pull with the scrap yarn, pull through. Here now I have a stitch marker, so you won't be able to forget this stitch. That is how you keep track of where the last stitch of the row actually is. So if I were to start this row again, I would turn from right to left. I would pull up a bit, insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through 2. Do the same thing one more time, and then I could grab a piece of scrap yarn that I have, push my hook through the stitch that I just made, and then place the scrap yarn down, or not even scrap yarn. You could also just use yarn that's attached to a skein. And like this, you can keep track of where all of your stitches are, just in case you need that little help. There's my first single crochet, so I'll pull the yarn out, insert my hook into that same stitch, and that is how I don't skip any single crochets. Also how you keep a nice and flat edge. So I'm going to do this for a few more rows. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. I'll do this until we have about 10 rows maybe. You can also do it as long as you want to. Just keep practicing, and yeah. And as you can see from the time lapse, I made a bunch of rows because I was so enthralled by the show that I was watching. Spy Family is so fun, by the way. Here you can see that I made 12 different rows. This is how my square looks like. It is pretty symmetrical. If yours isn't, again, if you notice in the time lapse, I was pulling a lot of the times. Having like a non-symmetrical tension or whatever you want to call it is pretty normal. So if yours immediately doesn't look like this, it's completely fine. You can just redo it and try again. The more you do it, the better you're going to be at it. Now all that's left to do is to chain one and cut off. You want to cut off around here and make sure that you're cutting off on the right side of the yarn. You're going to grab your scissors and just cut about like 10 centimeters or 2 inches, I would say, so right about here, but I'm not actually going to cut off because I don't intend on just keeping this piece. It would be a waste of yarn, but I'm going to show you guys how to weave in with this end right over here. So to weave in, you have 2 different options. You have a smaller crochet hook, so I would be using a 4mm crochet hook in comparison to the 5mm that I used to crochet this, or you can also use a darning needle. This is a plastic darning needle. Honestly, the plastic ones are kind of better than the metal ones because you can actually bend them. So for more complicated things, you could also have it bent. But anyways, so I'm gonna use a crochet hook. To weave in your end, all you wanna do is just go into the stitch and pull through. Go into the next stitch and pull through. Go into the next stitch and pull through. Next stitch and pull through. Now you want to do this about 4 or 5 different times. Here we are going to go back into the stitches that we already did. So as you can see, I went from here to here. Now I'm going to go back into the one that I did before. I'm going to go in and pull through. Go into the next one here. And pull through. Into the next one. And then go into this one. To the side that you were. Oh my god, was I off screen? I was not off screen, was I? Now you just want to do that same thing again, going through the stitches that you were already through twice now. So basically weaving in the loose tail, go through as many different stitches as possible so that you couldn't undo this without the intent of undoing it. As hard as you pull this tail right now, it would not come undone simply because it went through so many different like stitches and all that. So once I pull it through here, as you can see, it doesn't matter how hard I pull, it won't like open up the project. Obviously, it would anyways be impossible from this bottom side. From the top side is kind of more where it would unravel, but you would cut this end off. If you're done with weaving in, you would cut this end off and then you wouldn't be able to see it. Again, I don't think I need to say it again. I won't be cutting it off because it's a waste of perfectly good yarn. But yeah, this is how you make a single crochet patch. It is super easy. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. I will be sure to answer them. And also make sure to subscribe because I have a bunch of beginner-friendly tutorials coming up very soon on how to crochet a multitude of different things. I hope this was helpful. Again, comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! To start the